Welcome back to the chat. More allegations, more controversy for comedian Bill Cosby. Civil rights attorney Gloria Allred has now entered the scene and is now representing 3 women who all say that they were sexually assaulted by Cosby. Gloria acknowledged that these women cannot file suit because of the statute of limitations, but asked Cosby to waive that. Watch.
In short, Cosby could and should agree in advance that he would waive and give up the statute of limitations defense. He could open the window and to resolve these issues.
So Allred went on to say that if Cosby doesn't want to do that, and that is waive statute of limitations, he should set aside $100 million for the women, then to be able, of the 20 women who have come forth with allegations against Cosby, and then have retired judges basically decide who should get which percentage of that $100 million.
She always shows up, doesn't she?
I was just going to
Always.
say. I was just going to say.
We were just waiting for Gloria.
Always. But I tell you what, I mean, this is just, my gosh, if you cannot trust Bill Cosby, who can you trust? I think everyone for so long has wanted to believe this isn't true, but as more allegations come to light, you begin to think, I mean, how many people would come together who don't know each other, who have similar stories? I mean, I don't know, the whole thing is beginning to make you...
When there's smoke, there's fire.
It's crazy.
But they are allegations.
They are.
He has not faced any criminal charges.
But he also hasn't really spoken out, and I mean, it's just... I am frustrated by the whole thing because I kind of do want him to make a statement. I want him to say something about it. And Gloria Allred really seriously turns my stomach. Like,
but listen, but seriously, don't you think he's already spoken
by
his
not
silence?
speaking?
I mean,
he
he's
did
already
say,
spoken.
He did say something as of recently. He did tweet
did.
out. I don't know whether it was him tweeting or if it was
Handlers.
his PR people who were tweeting, but he thanked Whoopi Goldberg, and he also thanked @Miss Jill Scott. From the Cosby family, it said, and presumably it is for those people who stood up in defense of him on the air. We actually have a quick I'm having a hard time with cues. Quick clip.
Got it.
From Whoopi Goldberg from The View. Take a look.
No, I can speak to settlements. Settlements don't necessarily mean you're guilty.
No, I'm not saying it does.
No, you generally settle because you just don't want to have to put your family through it again. You don't want to have to keep going through it again and again. And, you know, I hope that there is justice for this lady. I hope somebody gets to the bottom of this. But I'm going to reserve my judgment because I have a lot of questions. As I said, it's crazy, but I have a lot of questions.
And she's been one of the people from the very beginning and say, hey, listen, we've got to let this play through a little bit more to see what happens. But now there's 20 women that have come forward.
Look, I worked on some level with Bill Cosby just within the same production company. I said this before on the show. We never worked together on the same show, but within the same production company. I had day-to-day dealings with him. He was not sexist. He was not, there were no moves made. There was nothing like that. He was a jerk, yes. I mean, he's not a nice person to be around. Didn't like him. He made demands that were just unreasonable. So I didn't experience that side of him. But
It sounds like a
megalomaniac,
basically.
Yeah, all of these things that are coming out, I mean, every story is the same.
Well, it's just hard, right? It's hard to believe that women who did not know each other and they all say exactly the same thing.
Right.
It was
Absolutely.
always drugs and alcohol, and I feel like at that age they just didn't want to say anything. How many of us have been in situations?
Why is it now that they're all coming out? That's one of the questions
You know
a lot
what?
of people
When
have.
One person's publicized and other people come forward. And,
Exactly.
And they didn't know, we were saying earlier that they didn't know, they didn't want to say anything at the
That there
time
were
because of
others.
Bill Cosby. They didn't know that there were others. Also, a former ex-NBC employee, Frankie Scotty, he's 90 years old now, he said that he was making monthly payments on behalf of Bill Cosby. Bill Cosby asked him to make those payments to women, up to $2,000 a month to certain women, and signed Frankie Scotty's name, not Bill Cosby, so it wouldn't be traced back to him. And he didn't know why he was making payments to them.
Right.
He never asked.
And also, we don't know the ramifications of what these women have been through in their later lives, what havoc has been wreaked on their own personal relationships, on their own personal lives, because of what happened with them many, many, many years ago with this famous person.
And also, if you do come forward and you're the only one and it's Bill Cosby, everyone's going to say, oh, she just wants money.
Well, that's the thing about the $100 million that Gloria Allred is coming out. Does the message get diluted then from these women having the courage to now come out with these allegations? It makes it, some people are saying it makes it look like
See,
they want the money.
And
I think
unfortunately,
they deserve the
Gloria,
money.
Gloria is in it for Gloria.
Yes.
And because the first women that came through all said, they were saying, why did you come? They said, just to get
Right.
it off of their, just to support the other women. They weren't really looking for
I
money.
think that is the thing. I think that, you know, for a lot of people, a lot of women on a personal level, if you had been assaulted in this way, there's no amount of money that is going to make up for that. You're wanting to have him called to the carpet on his actions. But I do think, interestingly enough, Leanza, about what you were saying, I think for most people, whether famous or you just kind of met him anecdotally, it's really making you examine that meeting a little closer. Like, was he peculiar? Now, I have a family member who had some interactions with him and said he was very, very odd. Not at all the person who we saw on the Coke commercials, the Jell-O commercials, certainly not Dr. Huxtable. And I think that's something interesting that's coming up. People who have had interactions with him are now saying, you know, I thought maybe something was
Second guessing.
And some people were saying with the
happening
statute of
there.
limitations, you can't really do anything now because
Right.
this happened in the 70s and 80s, but a recent development that came out with this woman who was allegedly assaulted when she was 15 years old at the Playboy Mansion, the way the California law works, they say you can bring this up, the statute of limitations does not apply if it is something that you're now realizing as an adult that you were affected when you were a minor, you can now bring forth a suit. So there may be some sort of criminal charges from what I was reading.
Trouble. I mean,
well,
either
she
way
has
you look
three.
at it.
She has 3 years to recreate the
If
problems.
she feels
that,
that the turmoil that she's facing today was a result of what happened to her allegedly when she was 15 years old. So that might be, you know, a lot of people are looking for some sort of recourse, you know, some sort of criminal suit, because the civil suit, even with statute of limitations, from what I understand, is thrown out the window.
Right.
I think if he is, you know, found guilty, which we all are seeing so many women coming out, he needs to tell us, give a statement to the public because he has so many fans and it's just disgusting so many people across America.
Can I just quickly, we got to go wrap, but what do you guys think about this $100 million slush fund that
I
Gloria's
think
doing?
Gloria's looking for a private island, and she's going to take
absolutely.
half of it. So
You know what? I have so
guess.
little respect for Gloria Allred. I really do because I think it's all in it for her. I really do. I don't have a whole lot of
there you go.
respect. So.
All right. Thank you.
What
ladies.
if?
Good conversation.
There you go.
Still to come right here on the chat, a inspiring author who gave up a lucrative career to find peace. We're going to hear more about her method for a peaceful mind and life. Plus, former Miss America Erica Dunlap is here. We're going to compare hers and Leanza's pageant days, and we're going to talk about what she's up to now. We'll be right back.